Hey guys, what is up? It is Aaron from Overlanding Garage, and today I'm going to teach you how to take off the sway bar end links on your vehicle. Maybe you guys are experiencing a knocking noise here in suspension, rattling sounds when you're taking a corner, hitting bumps, just excessive body roll. All those may be indication it's time to replace your sway bar end links. They work in conjunction with the actual sway bar, which is right here, connected to your sway bar end links, which is connected to our suspension, and altogether they help minimize body roll. And you have 4 of them on most vehicles. You have one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side in the front, and you also have them in the rear on the driver's side and passenger side. Now these end links are actually in really good shape. That's because they're brand new. I just replaced them when I refurbished the sway bar itself and installed the front of this lift kit. And so these really don't need replaced. However, I'm gonna still show you the process on how to do them. All right, let's get into the tools you're going to need for this job. And most of the stuff you should already have. Again, I like to do jobs that anyone can do with common tools that they have at home. First, you're gonna wanna have a breaker bar. For this particular Jeep, I need 3 different sockets. I need a 15 mil, a 19 mil, and a 3/4 deep socket. Obviously our ratchet, a hammer. Pair of gloves are optional. I'll probably use them. Safety glasses, of course. The one specialty tool you're gonna need, especially for a Jeep, is a Torx bit. Now this is a T55, and it's the only thing that's gonna fit in that bolt on the lower end of the link. So you're gonna have to pick up a Torx bit if you're working on a Jeep. And whenever I work underneath a vehicle, I always like to put some sort of chocks in. Now, I use wheel chocks, but you can also put a piece of wood down there to make sure you're safe. I will suggest, however, that you take a picture prior to of how your sway bar end link is orientated. That way, when you're going to put the new one on, you're not confused of whether this bow goes this way or it goes the opposite way. You already know how it's supposed to be situated, saving you time at the end. Because your end links are probably a little bit older and not new like these, you're gonna have a lot of rust buildup most likely on the top and even on the bottom over here. So I would suggest using some sort of penetrating oil. PB Blaster works great. Now I'm not sponsored by them, but this is really good stuff. Spray it on the top, spray it on the bottom, let it sit for at least 10 minutes, sometimes even overnight really works. It's gonna make the job that much easier. Now we are gonna start at the top of the end link, the top nut right here. It's a 15 mil, and we're gonna just take that off. And trust me, I know they probably won't come off as easy as this one just did, but remember, this is new. So that's why I said something like PB Blaster is gonna make this job a lot more simple. Now that we have the top off, we are ready to come to the bottom bolt here, and this is where you need your specialty T55 Torx bit that goes right into this bolt right here. Now, if you guys haven't noticed already, because we didn't take the tires off for this job, I have it turned all the way towards the driver's side, giving me really good access to this whole area right here. Something you're gonna need to do if you're not taking the wheels off. A quick tip here, guys, if you're wrenching alone, sometimes it's really difficult to have one hand on the actual ratchet and the other hand on the breaker bar and get enough leverage to release this bolt right here, because sometimes these bolts are just fused on with a whole bunch of rust. You need a lot of leverage. You need 2 hands often. So what I do is I take my ratchet and I put it between the tie rod and the axle. When I start to spin this and loosen this, my ratchet will simply go up towards the axle, and the axle itself, or in some cases the tie rod if it's the opposite way, will be my brace, be my support with my extra set of hands so I can get enough leverage to release that. Now I will say, guys, these T55 Torx bolts right here, they get stripped out really, really easy. So you want to be careful when you're doing this. With everything in place now, you're gonna notice the ratchet will go towards the axle, and it will end up being my support and basically an extra set of hands to counter push me using the breaker bar. So here we go. And there you go, guys. That's how you do it alone. Once I break it free, I won't loosen it from this end. Only because, again, like I said, this bolt right here will strip so easy on you, and then you're in a world of hurt. So I will go from the ratchet end and loosen it from there. We now have the nut off on this bolt right here and the nut off on the top. So we're gonna go to the passenger side and repeat that process. Now that we have the nuts out both on the driver and passenger side on the bottom of the sway bar end link and the nuts on the top for driver and passenger on the sway bar end link. We're ready to take out this bolt right here. In order to get these out, and again, sometimes they're really crusted in there, you guys are gonna wanna use a hammer and really hit that bolt really, really hard. It's gonna come out. Now, my suggestion would be to replace this bolt. I bought some online. I think they cost me about $1.75 each, and it's well worth it because the old ones I had were so rusted and starting to strip out right there. It was worth $1.75 to get new hardware, so don't worry about beating on with a hammer. I'm gonna use a rubber mallet because these are brand new and I don't wanna replace them again. And there you go. Repeat this process on the other side. There we go, that one was really easy. Now we're at one of the more difficult parts of this job, and it's getting the top of this end link right here out of the actual sway bar itself. It can be really, really difficult. One of the things you can try to do is rotate your sway bar down towards you, and that way you're able to get a hammer in here a little bit more effectively, and you can hammer that out. But I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna try right now to use a rubber mallet and see if I can pop this sucker out. I'm using rubber mallet only because these are brand new end links. You can use a regular hammer because at this point you're replacing this anyway. You're not gonna need it, so feel free to bash away. Let's see if this rubber mallet works. No, nothing. All right, plan B. I'm going to try to use the flat edge of a hammer on this. I really don't want to use the head. Again, I really don't want to damage these because they're brand new. I don't want to replace them. So we're gonna use the flat edge part of the hammer on there. Let's see if we can get this out. Bingo, got it. And luckily no damage to it, thank goodness. I didn't want to have to replace these, but you're gonna have to hit the heck out of these to get them out. And that is it, guys. It is honestly that easy with really common hand tools you probably already have at home to get those end links off and replace them with new ones. Now, I'm gonna show you quickly how to reinstall them. The one thing I wanna note is that make sure you get a Chilton's manual or something that gives you torque specs for the upper nut on the top of the end link, and then the bottom, that bolt, that nut on that bottom bolt, you wanna torque that down to spec as well. When you go to reinstall, make sure you put some white lithium grease or some anti-seize on the bolt so that if you have to do this job in the future, it's that much easier for you. Grab your new end link and make sure you have the correct orientation. You can refer back to the pictures that you took. Slide the top through the sway bar and line up the bottom holes, inserting the bolt through the bottom. Grab your washer, slide it over the bolt, and just hand tighten down the nut for right now. You're gonna end up torquing this to spec at the very end, so don't worry about it right at this moment. As you move to the top of the end link, you wanna apply some white grease or some anti-seize as well, just to make it easier if you have to do this job again. It's not gonna be rusted on and fused on. Take your nut and hand tighten it. Again, you're gonna torque this down to spec at the end. You're going to follow the exact same process on the other side of the vehicle, inserting the top of the end link through the sway bar, lining up the bottom so you can insert your bolt through everything, hand tightening the nut on the bottom bolt, as well as hand tightening the nut for the top bolt. Now you can grab a Chilton manual or you can do the research online, but if you notice, it tells us that the upper nut needs to be torqued down to 45 foot-pound torque, and the lower bolt, that nut needs to be torqued down to 75 foot-pound torque. And that is it, guys. That is how easy it is to replace your sway bar end links. It took us 4 tools. That is all: a hammer, a ratchet, a breaker bar, and a torque wrench, and we got the job done. So you should be able to do this in your garage, in your driveway, and save yourself hundreds of dollars rather than going to a mechanic to have them do it for you. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. And as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel if you like it. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the videos. As always, I am Aaron. This is Overlanding Garage. Till next time, peace.